Good morning. Our next article is derivation of Maxwell's first equation of electromagnetism. In the last article, we discussed the four Maxwell's equations in general and various physical quantities involved in writing the Maxwell's equations. Let us try to derive the mathematical expressions for Maxwell's first equation of electromagnetism. You know the first equation. What is first equation? Divergence of D or del dot D is equal to rho, equation number 1. This is Maxwell's first equation. And this form of equation is differential form of the Gauss law in electrostatics. Let us try to derive this expression. To derive this expression, let us consider a dielectric material. To derive this expression, let us consider a dielectric material. What is dielectric material? The bad conducting material, bad conductor. Dielectric material is a bad conducting material, or it is simply a bad conductor. Let us consider some volume this is some volume V enclosed by a closed surface S in a dielectric material. Here we have a dielectric material. Dielectric material, the non-conducting material. Okay. Let us consider a dielectric material, and further let us assume that certain volume V is enclosed by a surface S. Then mathematical equation for such situation, that is the Gauss equation, is this one. Integration of E dot ds is equal to 1 by epsilon 0 integration of V rho plus rho p into dV, equation number 2. What is meaning of this? Epsilon 0 is the permittivity of the dielectric medium. Rho, free charge density. Rho p, the charge density due to polarization. Because of these stationary charges inside the volume V, because of these stationary charges inside the volume V, on the surface of S, electric field intensity E gets developed. What is written in this mathematical equation? ds is taken as the smallest surface element. On this smallest surface element is the perpendicular component or normal component of the intensity of electric field, and this intensity of electric field is to be found over the whole surface. So integration, this intensity of the electric field at every point on the surface in normal form is equal to 1 by epsilon 0 times volume integration of the total charges present inside the volume bounded by the closed surfaces. In every dielectric material, charges are present in two forms: rho, charge density, number of charges per unit volume because of free charges; rho p, charge density because of polarization. Let me explain what is rho, what is rho p. After that we shall proceed to solve this equation, so that finally we will arrive at equation 1. You are having some dielectric or non-conducting material. If temperature of this material is increased or energy is provided to this material by any external agency, what will happen? The electrons in the valence shell, outermost electron in the atoms of this material, will gain the energy provided by the external agency, and very few electrons, very few, because the material under consideration is dielectric. Dielectric material is non-conducting material, and therefore if you provide energy to such dielectric materials by using any external agency, very few number of electrons from the valence shell get free. They are very few in number, and such number of electrons per unit volume will be rho. That is the charge density due to free charge carriers, that is due to free electrons present in the dielectric material. Let us come to rho p. If we apply some electric field to a magnetic material, what will happen? Let me consider one atom here. At the center we have nucleus with positive charge, and outside the nucleus we have many electrons revolving around the nucleus inside the atom. I am taking single atom as just a representation of all the atoms. Whatever we talk about this single atom, it is true for all the atoms inside the dielectric material. This atom, this is atom of dielectric material. Atoms of dielectric material are very stable. Electrons of dielectric material are very stable. This is because all orbits of these atoms get fully occupied by the required number of electrons, and therefore the atoms are stable as well as the electrons are very stable, because of which the center of negative charges and center of positive charges will be coinciding on each other. Center of positive charge, center of negative charge, a point where field due to all the negative charges is concentrated, center of negative charges. Center of positive charges, a point where electric field due to all these positive charges get concentrated. Such center of negative charge and positive charge, they are overlapping on each other. When centers of negative and positive charges are overlapping on each other, the atom will be neutral. Atom will be neutral, and therefore there will not be any free charge carrier in such atoms. Now, let us apply some electric field to this atom. Positive field is applied here. So obviously what will happen? these electrons will slightly get shifted towards the right direction, toward the right side of the atom, and to the left side there will be fewer number of, to the left side there will be fewer number of electrons, to the right side there will be more number of electrons. More number of electrons are on the right side, so this is corresponding to center of negative charges. Less number of electrons on the left side, it is corresponding to center of positive charges. Less negative, more positive. More negative, less positive. Okay, so because of application of this field, the centers of negative and positive charges get separated. The center of negative charge will come somewhere here, the center of positive charge will come somewhere here. The electrons are still inside the atom, they are not liberated, they are not made free from the atoms. Positive charges are still inside the atoms, they are not liberated, not made free from the atoms, but they are somewhat separated from each other inside the atom. This separation will cause the centers of positive and negative charges to separate from each other. The phenomena of separation of centers of negative and positive charges, the phenomena of separation of negative and positive charges in a dielectric material is known as electrical polarization. Okay, so it is corresponding to one pole, it is corresponding to other pole. This is corresponding to negative pole, this is corresponding to positive pole. Pole gives rise to polarization. So these two poles give rise to polarization. Okay, and such charges are known as the charges due to polarization. Rho p is corresponding to such charges. This rho p is corresponding to such charges, and this rho p is taken as the charge density due to polarization. Okay, so total charges in the dielectric material will be due to rho and due to rho p. The charge density due to free charge carriers and the charge density due to electrical polarization. And for any dielectric material, if some surface is enclosing a volume V having these charges, then on the surface of this closed surface, the intensity of the electric field is this much. Okay, so this equation is because of this type of behavior of the dielectric material. Okay, got it? Then let us try to solve this equation. Take this epsilon 0 to this side, so that it will be surface integration of epsilon 0 E dot ds is equal to volume integration of rho plus rho p into dv, equation number 3. But for dielectric materials, rho p is equal to minus divergence of p, equation number 4. For dielectric materials, rho p is equal to minus divergence of p. Divergence, charges going away from each other. I have shown what is happening in the polarization. P is taken as the polarization, and so this rho p is taken as minus divergence of p. So let us substitute equation 4 in equation 3, and so equation 3 will now become surface integration of epsilon 0 E ds is equal to volume integration of rho minus divergence p into dv, equation number 5. Let us apply Gauss's divergence theorem to LHS of equation 5. Let us apply Gauss's divergence theorem to LHS of equation 5 to convert surface integration to volume integration. Gauss's divergence theorem. You have studied this in mathematical physics. Stokes theorem to convert line integral to surface integral. This was also studied last year in mathematical physics. Okay, so if I apply Gauss's divergence theorem to LHS of equation 5, LHS of equation 5 will now become equation number 6. Applying Gauss's divergence theorem to LHS of equation 5, we get equation 6. Let us use equation 6 in equation 5 back to get volume integration of divergence of epsilon 0 E into dV is equal to volume integration of rho minus divergence P into dV, or this is for the take this minus divergence of P to this side along with the integration, and we may write this further as volume integration of divergence of epsilon 0 E minus divergence of P into dV is equal to volume integration of rho dV. This is for the minus, so it will become plus to this side, or this is for the volume integration of divergence of epsilon 0 E plus P into dV is equal to volume integration of rho dV. Equation number 7. But for dielectric materials, epsilon 0 E plus P is equal to D. For dielectric materials, epsilon 0 E plus P is equal to D, the displacement vector, electrical displacement vector. With equation 8, equation 7 may further be volume integration of divergence of D dV is equal to volume integration of rho dV. Equation number 9. Equation 9 is true for any arbitrary volume. LHS is true for any arbitrary volume of the dielectric material under consideration. RHS of equation 9 is also true for any arbitrary volume V of the dielectric material under consideration. And therefore, if we take away the integration from equation 9, because V is the volume integration for any arbitrary volume of the dielectric material. Equation 9 is true for any volume of the dielectric material, meaning that equation 9 is true for any volume of the dielectric material, and therefore equation 9 may further be written as divergence of D is equal to rho, that is divergence of D is equal to del dot D is equal to rho. Equation number 10. Compare equation 10 with equation 1. If you compare 10 with equation 1, you will find that equations 1 and 10 are same. That is, equation 10 is Maxwell's first equation, which is differential form of Gauss law in electrostatics. This is about derivation of Maxwell's first equation in electromagnetism. So all the needed concepts are explained and all mathematical steps are solved so that you can understand each and every step of the part in this article. Hope you got it. Thank you.